Okay, so after all the controversy in the build-up to this tournament, the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar has begun. Qatar, the hosts, were playing Ecuador in Group A. Must have been going for both sides because of the strength of the group, which also includes the Netherlands. And this could have been a much bigger scoreline in favour of Ecuador. They've only won the game 2-0. Now, from very early on, there was the VAR check and the controversy around that, and the first goal being chalked off. Enner Valencia could have had a hat-trick in the first half. And the Qataris, they did target Enner Valencia in defence. They basically hacked him off the field, even though he does score 2 goals. The goalkeeper's had a nightmare. The goalkeeper does not look competent. The defence doesn't look competent. And this Ecuador side, they're a much better side than people realise. They've only lost once in 15 games, which is now once in 16. They've kept 7 consecutive clean sheets now. This is a decent Ecuador side. People should not underestimate this team. Brazil haven't beaten them in qualifying. They drew twice. And this Brazil side is that we're expecting to see take the field later in the tournament are meant to be the favourites. So if Brazil can't beat this Ecuador side, there's a chance we could have a dark horse to go far in the tournament that we're not expecting. But let's break down the game. All the goals come in the first half. The VAR check comes in the first half, which is given as offside. And technically, yes, it is correct. Just in full speed, it looks like a good goal, and you have to question where the infringement is from. The goalkeeper coming out has actually caused it to be offside because you need to have 2 players behind the ball in defence when the goalkeeper charges off his line like that, should there be another attacker beyond the goalkeeper. Technically, and we're talking not by much, we're talking less than a foot, like a leg is offside. That is how ridiculous that one is. A leg's offside. Mad, isn't it? But it showed very early on that Ecuador had targeted the goalkeeper. They had targeted the back 4 that looked very shaky under crosses. And they weren't looping balls in. They were driving them low and hard. The goalkeeper just did not look comfortable at all. The Qatari team, the way they set up, good formation, but Ecuador, the way they start attacks, quick. A couple of passes and they're in the attacking third. They really do move the ball very, very quickly. A lot of pass and move. There's not a lot of standing still. There's not possession for possession's sake. They play with intensity and intent. And of course, as a South American team, they're also very, very technically gifted. They can use skill to get out of situations. Not like stupid amounts of silly, Neymar-esque constant step overs, but that quick step over, that quick Cruyff turn to get out of trouble. Good passing triangles. So the Valencia goal was called back after the VAR offside, and technically it is a correct decision. And we're talking, as I say, just. In real time, it looks like a brilliant goal. The goalkeeper's had a mare. That comes from a free kick. Now, in qualifying, they scored the most goals from free kicks in qualifying in the South American section. A lot of goals from set plays. They have a very good set play system. They've got some great balls in the box throughout the game. The second goal that is given is a brilliant cross and a great header by Enner Valencia. Now, the goalkeeper did not look competent at all under the high ball, and when crosses are coming in, he really didn't. Very nervy start. The defence didn't look confident either, and they're already, all at sea. The penalty on 16 minutes. The goalkeeper just needs to come out and take control of that situation. He stops and then he goes to try and dispossess Enner Valencia, who's trying to go round him and takes him out. If he comes out straight away, Enner Valencia doesn't have time to round the keeper and he probably gets the ball in a 50-50 challenge. The goalkeeper's not looking competent, doesn't make himself big, he actually makes himself small, which again is not a good thing. He needs to just spread himself, make Valencia make a decision rather than Valencia deciding to make a decision because he can see the space. Penalties cheekily taken. He just slowly trots up and passes it in the back of the net, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. And then every time Ecuador were going forward, you're thinking they could score again. Every cross, the Qataris were struggling to deal with it. And finally, a cross comes in from the right, not the left, because they were having lots of fun down the left, but from the right. And that is a brilliant powerful glancing header, because he has to create the power, but it's a low cross. It's not a high looping one. It's still a proper cross. That is a technically brilliant header. Technically brilliant. And he has to generate a more power and accuracy with the way he just shapes his body. It's all about shaping his body in that one. And it's a good header. Now, it's 2-0. Ecuador could have and probably should have had more. as the game wears on, the tackles fly in. They take Enner Valencia off because he's had a few collisions. They are targeting him. They are targeting their skilled players. A lot of yellow cards in this game. The referee was going to the notebook quite early on in the piece, which is a little bit concerning that he was very card happy. Very experienced Italian referees also refereed the Champions League final. Very, very experienced referee, but very, very card happy. That's a bit of a concern. Clearly, the referees have been given a directive on foul play and certain challenges that are deemed bookable offences. There's clearly that pre-tournament directive. Enner Valencia was taken off. That affected the Ecuadorian attack somewhat because he's clearly their captain, he's their leader, he's their best goal scorer. He scores at more than a goal a game in World Cup football. So there you go. He's played 4 World Cup games, scored 5 goals. So he's going on at a good rate in this tournament and in the Brazil tournament. So he does score at more than a goal a game, which is what you want. And for a veteran player, he's still got a fair bit of pace at 33. So he is going to be dangerous, I think, for the Dutch defence as well. If they've got a slow defender or there's a channel there, Valencia looks like he's on it. He's the top goal scorer in the Turkish league. Okay, not the toughest league in Europe, but at age 33, winding down his career, he's still getting double figures already at this stage of the season. The combinations that Ecuador had look really tasty. Goalkeeper wasn't really threatened. This is a team that can defend and attack. Qatar, I have concerns about Qatar actually scoring a goal in this tournament. Looking at that, yes, they've obviously played a lot of games this calendar year, to get them prepared for this tournament. They've been in camp for 5-6 months. The league season in Qatar got suspended in September for this tournament. So this team has been training and working together for 5-6 months. They played a lot of friendlies. They've only lost once in that run of games, their friendlies, and that was to Canada. And Canada are actually quite a decent team at the moment, who topped their qualifying section and qualified by right. So I do have some concerns about this Qatari team. Defensively, they're all at sea at times. The second goal, how can no one pick Valencia up? He's the smallest player in the box when that cross comes in, yet he has a free header. So defensively, there's no communication there. The goalkeeper had a shambles, and if that's their number one goalkeeper, imagine what their second and third choice goalkeepers are like if that's their best goalkeeper. So the Qataris didn't fill me with confidence as the ability to. And Ecuador are the weaker of the 3 other teams in the group. That's going to tell you something. The Dutch are going to have a field day if they play at their best with the talent they have available. And there we go. It was. Looking at the possession stats, it was literally like watching an FA Cup third round tie where like a non-league side's playing a Championship or Premier League side, and they've done a bit of giant killing to get to where they are, and then the big occasion they just got stage fright, and you could definitely see the golfing class. Even though on the world rankings they're very, very, very close together, you can clearly see that those world rankings are slightly skewed by the fact that Qatar have played a lot of friendlies in the calendar year. Ecuador qualified by right quite some time ago. Have played less international football, and I don't think Qatar are going to win a game or score a goal. To be brutally honest, they looked toothless. They didn't misplaced passes. Oh, let's see. So there we go. Ecuador comfortable winners. Should have been more. Second half, the intensity and the direction went out of the game a little bit. It meandered. Qatar shored themselves up a little bit more, but when Ecuador taking their best player off, Enner Valencia, their focal point in attack, it sort of changed how Ecuador were approaching the game a little bit. And those combinations, taking some players off. But the second half, the substitutions as well. But I think Ecuador could be a dark horse to get out of Group A. Qatar, this could be a very, very short stay in the tournament. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more video content for you very, very soon.